Thank you. We are Team Yonsei from South Korea, and we're going to be presenting about the case of Visa card. Currently, Visa has been facing challenges from outside market. We have sorted its relevant issues into three categories. First, in overall area, Visa has to keep sustainability in its business model. It has currently lost #1 place in terms of numbers of cards, and then it has faced antitrust lawsuits. Second of all, it has faced challenges in Chinese market as well. The year 2017 is projected as the latest year for the full settlement of WTO issue. And third, it has been facing CUP's growth in international market. It has lost #1 place in terms of card numbers as well. So we have developed Visa's goal in relevance of these three issues. First of all, it has to develop a sustainable business model. And second, it has to successfully penetrate the Chinese market. And then third, it has to defend its market share in the international market. So we have analyzed its issues into three categories, and then each of our presenter will be presenting about those issues.
Hi, I'm Kyung Jae-min. I'll be presenting about the business model that we have analyzed. We've analyzed by looking at the Visa case. Well, basically, Visa's revenue source can be broken down into those three parts. Well, if you multiply transaction value per cards by total number of cards, and again by service fee per transaction, you can see how we can generate revenue. And we looked at those three sources, and if you look at #1, well, it's currently doing pretty well. Compared to its competitors, it's maintaining a high transaction per cards. However, if you look at #2 and 3, we saw two challenges. Well, in terms of #2, it's losing market share due to higher prices, and as she has discussed, it's lost #1 number of cards globally against CUP. And if you look at #3, there's the antitrust lawsuit going on in the U.S., and specialists are forecasting that that issue could be expanded into other countries. And if that's expanded, we can think that the service fee per transaction can go down, which will affect Visa's revenue. So we thought that it's our goal to secure mass number of cards while keeping margins high with maintaining the service fees. However, we should lower down the charges to merchants because merchants are claiming that they're against the antitrust law. And now I'll toss on my speech to Tae, and she'll be talking more specifically about the Chinese market.
Yes, there are a lot going on in Chinese market, including WTO settlement and about the Livers, which is CUP, one of the biggest company in China. And there's the problems can divide it into two parts: short-term issues and long-term issues. When you look at short-term issues, there are a lot of possibilities that we are losing our customers to CUP. That's the problem. And then WTO issues, since this is issues related to government and global related agencies and organizations, that can be the short-term issue we have to deal with right away. And the long-term issue is preparation for settlement. So it is actually, he mentioned in our presentation, 2017 is the date we are expecting. And then after that, we have to do business by ourselves without any joint venture or any business partners possibly. So to solve those short-term issues and long-term issues, we have to make some step-by-step solution methodologies to deal with those issues happening in Chinese market. So next to this Chinese market issue, I'll move on to the international market issues with Sehun.
So this is little about the international issue. We found out from the exhibit that the travelers of the Chinese people going abroad is increasing greatly from below 10 million in 1995, but to about 60 million in 2010. And it is expected about 100 million in 2012. However, we also found out that all those people are not going to diverse places all around the world. We found from the exhibit that certain Chinese people tend to go to certain places, including US, which is about 1.2 million, and other Asian countries such as China, Hong Kong, Thailand, or Japan, South Korea, and which is relatively favored for Chinese people. So we divided into two segments. First one is Chinese people favored places, and second is a relatively low favored. So our strategy is basically going to focus on the first tier sector.
So now we talked about the basic analysis of the problems, and now we'll be recommending how we can overcome such issues. And I've talked about the Visa's business model, and I talked about securing the transaction value while leveling up the service, number of cards. So what we propose is developing a new premium brand. So we'll be making a new brand in Visa, and we'll be going with the double brand strategy. So we'll be initiating Visa Premium. And if you look at the table on the slides, we basically have Visa and Visa Premium. And if you look at the brand, the Visa is the original Visa, what we all think of. On the other hand, Visa Premium is a prestigious and luxury brand. So the target will be different. So Visa will be in charge of targeting mass, so we'll be securing the number of cards through Visa. While on the other hand, Visa Premium will be focusing on the higher income population, where we can secure the margins. And in terms of fee, because we talked about the fees, especially the ones charged to merchants, it's going to be kept low. It's going to be from 0 to 1%, which is the level that CUP is charging. And one special feature about this model is that we'll be charging extra expensive fees to Visa Premium users. Well, according to the case, we couldn't find out how many annual fees currently Visa is posing to current customers, but we propose that Visa Premium should charge about $300 per year of annual charge to its customers. And lastly, so what is the differentiation point? Well, if you look at Visa, it's basically cheap and it's easily accessible. We can use it in all countries in in the world. However, if you look at Visa Premium, we can give them exclusive services. For example, you can give them exclusive concerts. You can give them foreign guides if they wish to get them. And we can also provide them with airport lounges. And this is actually happening a lot in Korea. Currently, Korea card brand, Hyundai Card, is targeting a luxurious high-income population. And what they do is they give out these special events, exclusive open to them, and they're actually gaining a very big hit in Korea. So we thought that by pursuing the same strategy, we can apply it to making Visa Premium, and therefore, by that we can secure mass, we can have big mass of card population while having higher transaction value. Now I'll toss my speech to Dae. She'll be talking more about recommendation in China.
Yes. Let's move on to the strategy in China. As I mentioned in my analysis, it is important to apply timeline approach to solve this problem because we obviously have short-term problems and long-term problems. So those two parts of issues have to be dealt in different ways. So in May 2012, it's actually a month ago, WTO had final panel report regarding EPS, and experts in this case mentioned that it will take about 5 years to reach to the full settlement because of the political issues and Chinese government raising some kind of opinions regarding those problems. So I have two timeline spots in May 2012 and May 2017, and I divided into two parts. So the goal in short-term way is securing existing customers because we want to keep our customer into our CUP and Visa joint cards so that we can transfer that customers to our customers in near future. And the second goal is facilitate settlement process. 5 years is long enough time to occurring a lot of problems in financial sector. So that's the two goals we are having now. So the solution we thought about is two things: enhance Visa's brand image to just keep our customer into our market, and then we will mention WTO TFT. So when you think about WTO TFT, I don't think cases mentioning that how many manforce and how many infrastructure they have to deal with some WTO issues, but it is important to facilitate and fasten those processes so that we can penetrate Chinese market as soon as possible. And the second goal in terms of long-term issue is launch Visa card successfully, obviously, and attract, we missed out some word, attract new customers. And the two things is in our solution is divided into two parts, which are collaboration with financial institutions. To successfully launch our cards, we need a lot of local commercial banks to make our credit cards more reliable and more accessible. And that's what BC Card in Korea did in Korean credit card markets. And then second thing is product development. We already mentioned premium card and regular card in our analysis and our suggestion. We can develop our own credit card product, which is more customized and more reliable products that can be used in Chinese markets. So let's move on to the strategy in international markets so that we can make more deeper insights in those problems.
As I mentioned from the previous slides, our international strategy will mainly focus on the countries that are favored by Chinese people. So there are basically two strategies. First is to lower the transaction fees, and second is to give the customers a motivation to use Visa usage network. So through that strategy, we are going to retain our customers from escaping from our Visa network. First, to decrease transaction fees used by Visa customers. As we have mentioned before, we are going to decrease our transaction fees. However, for the Visa Premium card, we are going to maintain it because people are not going to use it if the transaction fees are way much above compared to competitors. So our main strategy will be focused on the Visa regular transaction fees. And second is to increase motivation for using Visa card network. This is more about just giving out services or practical packages or giving out hotel packages or something. It's more about using Visa cards network. To do so, we are going to use the concept of Visa mileage. This Visa mileage will enable the customers use freely, just as cash. And secondly, to give free gifts when these customers are using this Visa network, not totally owned by CUP, but the Visa network. So through these two strategies, we are going to retain our customers and at the same time retain more customers by decreasing our transaction fees, as mentioned. And lastly, Jungin will wrap up our session.
Okay, thank you for listening. We have presented the Visa case and we have analyzed the issues into three categories. So we have come up with some solutions that Visa might adopt. First of all, there was developing a new premium brand in Visa card. And second of all, we have come up with solutions in relation with the WTO conflict and its final settlement. And then last of all, there was, we have considered the Chinese travelers' increase in the recent years, and we have come up with two solutions, which are decreasing in transaction fees for customers, and then motivating the use of Visa cards for these travelers. We firmly believe that those solutions will boost the revenues of Visa card. Thank you.
Have you investigated or think about the real reason for this higher price? Is it a pricing strategy reason, or is it because of actually more fundamentally it's efficiency that maybe a poor efficiency that drive up the cost structure so that they have to charge a higher price? So I mean, have you considered that, the reasons behind?
Well, we didn't think that it's the matter of efficiency that Visa is charging a lot of higher prices. Well, Visa has been dominating the market with MasterCard for a very long time, and they were able to leverage their market share to customers by charging higher prices. However, CUP, a new player in the market, they came in with lower prices, and therefore customer responded by moving out of Visa and going into CUP. And that was why we thought that pricing issue was not the matter of efficiency in Visa, but it was the matter of their domination in the market. So we thought that the pulling down of prices would be possible.
You talk about the developing a Visa premium brand card, for high-income populations or high-income sectors. But you know that other card like Amex, they have a black card as well.
Yes.
So I think that you just copying other companies' strategy. But even though you know that China is great in copycat something or replicating other strategies. Even if you implement these strategies in the next 2 years, I believe that CUP will copycat the strategies quickly. So what do you think your strategies will be better than the others? Or you will get a market share in that kind of sector?
So first of all, I think that there's obviously first move effect in terms of alluring wealthy customers, because since CUP is not doing those kind of strategy right now, so we can make our loyal customer in the first stage, and then we can secure them, and it's much easier to secure them beforehand. CUP in terms of alluring wealthy customers, and also
we believe that cultural contents, very specific cultural contents, can be a point of differentiation between our competitors and Visa. I believe that providing special cultural contents give the customers an impression that they are special and privileged. So constructing those cultural network to provide our customers very special contents would be a benefit for the first movers in this strategy. And yes, thank you.
But you're not the first mover in the market.
But for the
MasterCard or is it Amex there?
Yes, but in terms of providing special cultural contents, like maybe we can invite some very famous musicians and artists to privately meet with our card customers, arrange those kind of events, and then yes.
And the thing is that you mentioned that we are not the first mover, but I think Amex is one of the biggest credit card company in the world. But what our biggest competitors are MasterCard and American Express and CUP in Chinese market. So what I mentioned first mover, but the real intention that I want to mention is not about the literally first mover, but we are faster than any other major competitors in Chinese market.
Actually, I'd like to discuss the same question from Lawrence, but from the other angle. Visa already has, ordinary card, gold card, platinum, diamond, Now you're introducing premium, okay? So how, other than the AE black card Lawrence mentioned about, but how do you distinguish your premium, newly introduced premium card from those platinum, diamond cards already issued by Visa?
Well, regarding that issue, on the slides, okay. First thing first. Well, those premium, diamonds, golds, and other
diamond,
users,
platinum,
they can be incorporated as the premium users already. Well, we're not initially making this. We are making this premium brand, but it's a category, so they actually fit in. And how we distinguish is another problem, and we'll be giving them cultural context. For example, as we have mentioned in the slides, we'll be giving them concerts arranged by a team of Visa, and they will be invited, and only the ones with the Visa Premium can be invited, including, if you think about this big Visa Premium, there will be diamond users and gold users. So So we'll be giving out invitations to them. And that's how we can distinguish our service compared to Amex, compared to MasterCard, and compared to Visa, just ordinary Visa users. So, I said concerts, guide booklets if they decide to go abroad, and airport lounges, and lastly, yes, and etc.
But quite a lot of these special features already offered by platinum or diamond Visa cards. So what I'm trying to say is that you are sending a message out to the market, but sending a very conflicting message to your customers. You introduce a new card, but offering more or less the same as the other cards that you are already used to.
What we are wanting to say here is that to reorganize its already existing premium cards into some brands, like more strengthened brands of premium cards, and then to promote it like more strongly, so that they can have this impression of I'm using a special Visa card. Yes. That was our.
If that strategy is successful,
Yes.
and you are able to attract many people to the premium brand and charge them the privilege of being with that brand, what is the financial impact of that increased income versus the cost of developing the card?
Yes.
And the lower margins that you want to put onto the original card to gain some good reputation?
We actually didn't calculate the numbers about the direct impact, but we obviously believe that those premium strategy would be profitable enough, because it's not on the case, but when we benchmark the other premium cards brands and the other credit cards company in United States or Japan or South Korea, that profit rate is big enough to cover up the other development fees. And actually the service development cost is not that big, regarding $300 a month in your $300 a year fee. And you mentioned that we are transferring our cost to mass brand, regular Visa card. And since we are in the middle of the antitrust issues, so we thought that there's a lot of possibility that we have to lower our transfer fee ratio in near future or in at least few years. So that's the expected result in long term. So that's the reason we want to prepare into the different ways.
And to add, you mentioned about the revenue source. I think there's two issues for it. First, we found out that the billionaires in Chinese market is as much as those people, whole population in South Korea. And so we found that the revenue source itself is big enough for the certain time being. And secondly, the growth of that population, the portion, is growing enormously fast. We found out from the graph that the more and more Chinese people are going abroad to travel, which means that they have enough money or capital to invest in those cultures. And secondly, we also found out that the places they're going is more diverse and getting more diverse and diverse. Which also is an evidence that more Chinese people are getting richer and richer and have enough money and capital to invest in those companies. So I think these evidences are the reason we found out that the revenue source is enough for our premium strategy.
Thank you, judges, for the great questions.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.